Today is October 7th, 2024, and I'm going to be talking about what's next for Bitcoin's price. So Bitcoin has been the center of attention for the US elections, geopolitics around the world, tons of different news stories coming out. And as everybody knows, we don't really trade the news, but it's interesting to follow nonetheless. And Bitcoin has been the center of attention, just like all cryptocurrencies in 2024. So we've got to take that kind of with a grain of salt that it has sped up a little bit of what Bitcoin is doing with its price. We don't ever really see news have that much of an effect on Bitcoin's price. Now, the news can move Bitcoin's price or any currency's price or any stock's price faster in one direction or another, but ultimately the price and the target stay the same. If it's meant to go to 65,000, Bitcoin's going to go to 65,000. If it's meant to drop back down to 20K, it's going to do it. And these news stories come out and it just fuels a faster approach to those levels and to those targets that are already on the chart set up for trading. Now, we're going to talk a bit about what we think can happen next with Bitcoin. We're going to look at the charts to see what levels are the most critical and important levels. And we're going to kind of give an idea of what we think is going to happen towards the end of this episode. So the first thing I want to bring up here is the levels that we're going to be facing next. So as we go up in Bitcoin and as we keep moving up, there's a few levels that are pretty critical that I've got my eye on. The first one being a 4-hour level at 65,729. Now, if you look at the 4-hour level here, you can see that this will create a ladder from the move and it will continue to move down if this 4-hour level can hold it. Now, this 4-hour level is the next 4-hour level to test, and it's a pretty important level. It is part of the range that's happening right now in Bitcoin. And if it continues to move up, you can expect to see this 4-hour level hold it down. Now, the things I would be looking for is first, you have to hit the 4-hour level. You have to hit the body of the level. Now, you can hit the wick or the body, and that's fine. But ideally, you'd want to see the body of the level hit and it goes a little further than the body, then pulls back underneath it and kind of creates a move down. The first thing I'm going to be looking at when we do hit that magical 65,730 level, 65,730 or 729 if you want to be precise to the dollar, is I'm going to be looking for it to hit that level and create another 4-hour level to get underneath. Now, that's going to happen by creating first your 15-minute level, your hourly level, creating those and then gaining them so that you can keep moving down. So you're going to go up, you're going to hit the level, and then you're going to start to go down a little bit, create a new level, come back, scoop back up to that 15-minute level, create another level here, scoop back down, hit that hourly level, and keep moving down until you have the ladder of the move set up to continuously move down on Bitcoin. Now, if that can't hold it, we are going to be approaching a pretty critical 4-hour level. The next level on the charts that is so vastly important is this 69,350 level. This level is extremely important because it is what started the move down on Bitcoin to create the floating level when it dropped to 50K. So it created this 4-hour level at 69,350, and then it dropped straight down to 50K, 49,000 and change if memory serves me correct. And so this level creates a floating level on the bottom, and this will be the final level that it can test while still moving down below that 50K level. So for all you shorters out there who want to short Bitcoin and bear market players and short order fillers, for all of you out there, that's going to be your critical level, 69,350. And the 69,350 level, if it holds, it has the potential to actually go past and below that 49,000 level that we see on the charts. Actually, it can go all the way down. I have my final target here as 43,200. So I think right now that is kind of what we're looking at for Bitcoin, is a move down to 43,200. And that's going to happen if we hit this 69,350 level, continue to hold it, and then break the ranges on the way down. So these are some of the critical levels that we're seeing on the Bitcoin charts. Now, with the elections coming up, November 5th is less than a month away. I'm sure we're going to start to see things fly really quickly, really fast, maybe right before the election, maybe right after. I don't exactly know when, but I think the news is going to supersede these movements in a pretty big way. So you really want to be paying attention over the next month as to the timing that these levels are hitting. That's what's in my mind right now. That's at the front of my mind. If we're creeping up to the 69,350, 350 level, and it's say like November 2nd, November 3rd, November 4th, couple days before the election results, and we're about to hit it, I think if you see one side elected, you could blow straight past it and go for the top of the move, which is going to be the previous origin level that we saw on the charts above the 69,000 level. If you see the other side win, I think you're going to see Bitcoin hit the price of 69,350 and then have a pretty quick descent. So I think this is a variable that's not necessarily going to, it's not a sure thing. This variable on the chart is more kind of connected to the timing of the elections right now and these targets. And I don't trade news, nor do I think this has any relevance on the price where it ends up. I just think that this speeds up whether you're moving up before you go down or whether you're going down before you move up. So I think that with all this election stuff going on, you're going to see some pretty wild moves over the course of the next month, but that's just speculation. Again, we only trade the levels on the charts and the data points that make sense. So with that in mind, keep your eyes towards the attention of the timing coming up in this next month. Now, with that said, let's make a few predictions here about Bitcoin's price. I think it is likely that we go down to this 43,200 level. I think it's the most likely event to happen for Bitcoin. So chances to go down to that 43,200 level, I think are high. Now, I also think it is a little less likely. So I would say if I had to rank that, I would put it at a score of 8 out of 10. Chances are it will go to 43,200. Do I think it's going to break over its current all-time high in the year 2024? Absolutely not. I don't think we're breaking a new all-time high in 2024. I'm going to say this is about a 2 to 3 out of 10 chance that we're breaking up to make a new all-time high. Do I think we might test the top of the move, whether we go straight to it right now before being stopped by this 69,350 level, or if we go down to 43,200 and then go back up to the top of the move to kind of test the top again? I would say there's a good chance. I would give this about a 50-50 chance. I would say, if anything, I would lean slightly more on the side. If it was 5 out of 10, so a 50% chance, I would say it's like a 5.5. I would lean slightly to the right that we would be going a little higher than the current move and that we would be testing the top again. And do I think we're going to dump below 43,200? I don't know if I can see that yet if we're dumping below, but I would give it about a 6 out of 10 chance that we would be dumping below 43,200. Now, I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon, and I think we need to see some ranges break, but I ultimately believe you've got about a $30,000 target on Bitcoin, and maybe in the next episode, I'll define the lower target a bit more, and I think that's a good part of what we're looking to see with Bitcoin. And do I think we're going to keep pushing up right now in the current range to hit these 2 4-hour targets I said? Yes, I absolutely think we're going to continue to push up in the current range. I would give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 that we're going to continue to push up to get to at least our first 4-hour target. And our first 4-hour target was 65,730. I absolutely think we're going to go test that as a minimum. I would give that a 9 out of 10 chance. Are we going to go test that 69,350 level, that second 4-hour level? I would say we have a 6 out of 10 chance, so about a 60% chance to go and test that level. Ultimately, I do think Bitcoin is going to go a bit lower. I don't know if we're going to crash towards those 30K targets. I do think 43,200 is realistic, and I think the only thing that can stop us from hitting that 43,200 target is if we ladder the previous bottom of the move down at 49,000 off of, I would have to say, it needs to ladder a daily level, but I wouldn't be shocked if it laddered a 4-hour level, but I would be aiming for the daily level just above 49,000 and change, whatever it hit. All in all, I am still bearish on Bitcoin. I do think we're moving down before we see new all-time highs, but do I think we're moving down past some of these numbers and seeing a new all-time low down to say $9,000 or $8,000? It wouldn't be a new all-time low because our all-time lows clearly are much lower than that, but an all-time low for recent history, let's just say that. I don't think we're going back down to those levels. I think we've created way too many forms of support. My original target last year was 12,000 and we hit 15,000. So when we were up at 60,000 or 70,000, it was my original target was 12,800 and we went down to, I believe it was 15,100. So I slightly missed my target there, but nevertheless, we rode Bitcoin all the way down and took some pretty cool longs. So that was awesome. I don't think we can go and see those numbers again. I think you'd see a major battle for Bitcoin support in and around that $30,000 mark. And on next episode, we're going to talk about that $30,000 mark and maybe do some predictions and what kind of events would happen or would need to happen to see those kind of levels hit once again.